Good morning, everybody. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Good morning if it's morning for some of you or later, whatever it may be. Hold up. Let me put this on mute. Shout out to everybody, guys. Thank you guys for being here. Can y'all welcome everybody? Shout out to everybody. Let those notifications go out. Let's do a little, wait while we're going to wait while those notifications go out. Welcome, Kraken, Sarah Lynn, Christian B, DD. You said what does the thing next to your name mean? The pink thing? So it usually those little graphics right next to your name are like the time frame that you've been a member. So whether you were gifted a membership or you renew your membership, like the little picture right there symbolizes how many months you've been in the as a member. We're gonna be adding some more pictures. Like I think I need. Hold up, let me check while I'm here and I'm still in the studio. I think we are. Hold up. How many more members? Um, we need to add some new emojis and updates some of our old emojis. Definitely. But we are 20. We need 38 more members before we can get a new emoji. So we're 38 members away from a new emoji. We have 863 members. But some of those are gifted memberships. So yeah, keep that in mind. Welcome. Clicker AK says greetings from Alaska. Welcome, Amy. Everybody. Rhonda, how you doing? Chico's in the house. Thank you for being here. Jen Chai, thank you. David. Oh my goodness. Cheeks is in the house as well. Sarah Lynn, Dee Christian, Don, DB, Last Ronin, welcome. Oh my God. Rhiannon, welcome. Um, Everybody, welcome. How many people we got in here? Oh my goodness. Oh, I have a little bit of a I don't know, maybe there's a sinus thing going around. It's coming down. Beetle, welcome. Janae, welcome. Did I say your name correctly? Janae Sushi Jessica, how you doing? I haven't seen you in a minute. Hope you're doing well. I saw Tiki here. Tiki. Welcome. Meryl, is it Mary? I'm not gonna say Marilyn, but is it Marielle? Wes, welcome. Thank you. Blonde Bomb, how you doing? It's been a minute. Hope you're doing well. Maddie Pat, welcome. Oh my God, your avatar's so cute. Welcome. You said impeccable timing. Once again, I just got to the house from dropping Zeus at the vet. Oh, okay. Oh, like Jenna, like from Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump is a whole different movie. I got me a tall iced coffee. Look at this. And I mean tall. Like pack it with ice, put some heavy cream on it, a little bit of flavoring. Iced coffee. Dark iced coffee. You just got married. Oh my God. Congratulations. Aw. Do we have wedding bell emojis? I know we got bride emojis in the chat. Well, congratulations. Oh my goodness. Shout out to you. You guys dropped some wedding type of emojis, bride emoji. I know we got some bride emojis in there. Welcome. Thank you. Well, shout out to you. Exciting. All right, y'all. We got to get started on this whole Gypsy Rose situation. Now, I was supposed to go back live yesterday and get a hold of the full lawsuit, and I didn't have time. Had some stuff going on yesterday. So I finally got a hold of the lawsuit. And this is a lawsuit that Gypsy Rose has filed on a YouTuber here by the name of Fancy Macelli. Now, I talked a little bit about I've talked about Fancy Macelli before. And I have watched some of her content. I will say that, you know, I'm kind of on the fence on this one because I feel like in part so what it sounds like, she was somebody that was working very close with the family, with the Blanchard family, and that she signed a life rights type of contract with the Blanchard family while Gypsy was still incarcerated, right? And so she was given information for like 2 years, exclusive information, as well as others. But it sounds like Fancy might have like She might have sold medical records in some of this. She might have been given information that other folks did not have. And so I think it's important to kind of talk about this and see what this is. Some of you guys in the comments felt like this lawsuit was meant to silence Fancy. I don't necessarily know if I see it that way. Yes and no. In the sense of like, I don't know how Gypsy can claim defamation of character when, girl, you're a straight, like, you are who you are. You're infamous for the crime that you've committed, and the participation that what you did, right? And so I find it kind of a little bit like weird that she would not want to identify herself as a schmurder, but like we all know that she is. So I'm gonna get right through like just the facts. I kind of want to read that, which is really like the meat and potatoes of this lawsuit. Luckily, and you can find this lawsuit. You don't have to go on Pacer to find this lawsuit. You can literally find this lawsuit in the Missouri civil court's website with the case number. I'm going to link it in the description box so you guys can read it if you want to read like the every little part of it. I really just want to get to the meat and potatoes of this and then talk with you guys about it. Allow the people to get in here. Did we do an intro? Should we do an intro? Give some people some time to get in here? Let me know. I don't know. It feels like maybe I don't know if did you guys get a notification? But let me know. No worries, Sushi Jezebel. Do what you gotta do. It's like a slow Tuesday. People getting back in the groove of things. It's a little bit of a slow media day too. There's some stuff going on. Kanye West has a lawsuit happening. We might talk about that a little bit later. But you got notified? Okay. But y'all let me know. No notification. Some of you guys got no notification. You got notified. I'm wondering if the ones that got notified is because they're members of the channel. You got your notifications? Like Karmic didn't get notified, but the members did. I'm noticing a trend here. You did. Okay. Let me do an intro. Get your guys' coffee. And that way, give people some time to get in here. And then we'll start reading this lawsuit and talking. Okay. Righty. All right. Well, some of y'all got notifications, some of you guys didn't. Okay. Just absolutely. I gotta hop on and watch all that too. It's been a lot going on with that case as well. So we'll be talking about that here pretty soon. So what do we think Gypsy Rose just grifting again? Says Laura H. Welcome everybody. I saw CK. I saw everybody in the chat. Y'all welcome, welcome. Let's get started. Let's get started. Okay. So this is a lawsuit. This is what it looks like thus far. Y'all can find it free on the Missouri website. Here we go. Facts. During the plaintiff's Gypsy Anderson, then Blanchard, childhood, she lived in New Orleans area of Louisiana. Her parents divorced when she was very young, and she lived primarily with her mother, Dee Dee Blanchard. The abuse. During her childhood years, her mother began reporting that Gypsy suffered from a myriad of medical conditions. These conditions included, but were not limited to, muscular dystrophy, leukemia, paraplegia, requiring Gypsy to be in a wheelchair. Gypsy received services and assistance based on the representations of Dee Dee. August 2005, Hurricane Katrina devastated the New Orleans area. Gypsy and Dee Dee sought refuge from their flooded apartment in a special needs shelter in the New Orleans area. While there, she met medical staff from St. John's Hospital, now Mercy, in Springfield, Missouri. Based on the representation of Dee Dee regarding the severity of Gypsy's medical conditions, Mercy ultimately used one of their medical helicopters to fly Gypsy and Dee Dee from Louisiana to Springfield, Missouri. While living here, Dee Dee sought medical care from several dozen medical providers in Springfield and Kansas City, Missouri. During these visits, Gypsy's list of medical ailments increased. Gypsy's mother, Dee Dee, regularly sought the assistance of charities under the auspice of helping care for her ailing daughter. These charities provided untold thousands of dollars of assistance in form of everything from free motorized wheelchairs, travel, vacation, meetings with celebrities, and brand new house provided by Habitat for Humanity. During this period, the abuse was ongoing. On June 9, 2015, Dee Dee Blanchard was stabbed to death by Nicholas Godejohn. That's number 9. That's number 9. He was stabbed to death. All right, but maybe they're going to put in here what role she might have played in this whole situation, okay? I didn't say Diddy, I said Dee Dee. Ooh, hold up. Wait. What did you say? You said, sorry, I'm one of those people who just doesn't care about Gypsy Rose is up to nowadays. The woman is obviously a bag of crazy cats. What's wrong? Leave the cats alone. What's wrong with cats? Leave them alone, okay? All right. Gypsy said, enough is enough. All right. All right. She is not Diddy. Kubri said, Gypsy said, enough is enough. That's what she said. Did you guys get your coffee before we got started? Because we did say we won't get started. Get your coffee, okay? I'm going to need you guys to be a little bit more, with more energy here in this chat, okay? Gypsy Rose said, enough is enough. Fancy Macelli, you ain't doing this shit no more. Fancy. Hey, Wim. Welcome. Please turn in your late slip to Pika. All right. Yeah. Okay. Let's continue reading. Okay. We're going to get through this. Okay. So, she was stabbed to death by Nicholas Godejohn. On June 14, 2015, Gypsy was arrested alongside with Godejohn at the house of Godejohn's parents in Wisconsin. They were both charged with the murder in first degree in Greene County, Missouri. It was discovered for the first time publicly that Gypsy could walk and did not have most of the ailments for which her mother was having her treated. Now, I think that is very much disputable. In my opinion, now let me say something to the Blanchard family. Okay. I feel like you guys knew that she didn't have a lot of these ailments and y'all just let this woman do this to Gypsy. That is just my opinion. I am not believing this whole, as a father, I just sat there and I let Dee Dee do what she did. No, I'm just not. I am not believing that. I like the fact that that was even discussed that he would allow Just say happy birthday to her when she turned 18, when she was a different age. Like, that whole situation is so suspect to me when it comes to this family. I'm just not buying the bullshit. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying that the Blanchard family said, well, we're going with whatever Dee Dee wants to do. The whole family is suspect to me, and the whole family, in my opinion, is benefiting from this whole situation at this point. Yeah, the father did some interviews, and in my, like, I had said this before in the reviews of the video, what is it, the Lifetime docuseries that they did, that suddenly he decided, he was absent because Dee Dee wouldn't allow him to be involved, but he also didn't do a whole lot to make himself involved. Like, he had custody of her. He didn't even attend one of the court, parole hearings. To me, they're all very much suspect that way. I'm just not buying it. I don't know. Something about it just seems kind of weird to me. And we've just gifted 5 memberships. If you got a membership from my supporter whim, y'all put a heart in the chat, please and thank you. Okay. Reality check Jules, thank you for becoming a member. Shout out to you, love. Thank you. I don't know. Now, I could be wrong because I am wrong a lot. Okay, I get it wrong, but I think that this family is suspect, in my opinion. All right, let's keep reading. Excuse me. It was discovered that she didn't know how to walk, or it was discovered for the first time publicly that Gypsy could walk and did not have most of her ailments for which her mother was having her treated. During the investigation, it was uncovered that Dee Dee had been subjecting Gypsy to nearly a lifetime of medical abuse and used her as a prop to commit fraud upon everyone. Now, at one point, Gypsy turned into an adult. Was she manipulated by Dee Dee? Potentially, maybe she was coerced to participate in, just pretend that you're sick, just pretend that you're this, just pretend that you're that. Very much likely so. I believe it. But I also feel like at some point when she was deciding to run away with other men, that she could have had some free will to just say, you know what, this is the kind of abuse that I'm being subjected to. I honestly don't. I don't think Dee Dee deserved to die. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was other ways for Gypsy to have sought out relief. And I'm not misquoting. I'm sure that Gypsy has said it multiple times in her multiple interviews about how she feels about the situation, that she feels some type of way. I don't think that it needed to go this far. But now that it has, it seems to me that the Blanchard family has used this situation to kind of grieve and, seek opportunities. She had a lot of opportunities as she got older. That's just my opinion, though. That's just my opinion, but I could be wrong. Okay, let's keep reading. Let me take a drink of my coffee, all right? Experts agree that Gypsy was the victim of a condition called Munchausen. I always say it wrong. By proxy. Now, experts agree, but none of those experts interviewed Dee Dee Blanchard to diagnose her. Okay? And even though that is, I understand that they had experts testify in court and everything, but y'all go read the DSM, which is really, I don't always agree with the DSM, okay? But you can't just, that's like saying Rabbit suffered from bipolar disorder before she decided to rob the bank. Experts agreed, although none of those experts have spoken to me about it, right? None of those experts have interviewed me to diagnose me with any kind of, bipolar or schizophrenia. You know what I'm saying? Like, any type of disorder that would have said, yeah, she definitely has it. This was literally combined professionals that they grabbed, and they said, well, based on this medical history review, do you believe that Gypsy or Dee Dee has suffered from this type of disorder, that she was applying it to her daughter? Could it have been medical maltreatment? Absolutely. I just don't know if we could just put that blanket on Dee Dee after her death. I'm just saying, but that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. Okay. I body illusion. I'd like to know too. But something tells me that not a whole lot, but that's just my thought, you know? Because honestly, I feel like it's very telling about who Gypsy Rose is right now, that she sounds like she suffers from a lot of emotional neglect, you know? And she, first of all, emotional neglect from her mother, from both of her parents. So keep that in mind. And Munchausen by proxy is a very hard thing to diagnose. So if you just go do some research on it, you'll find out that it's very hard to diagnose and pinpoint. Okay, and some medical professionals, I mean, based on medical reviews, if that's the only pool that you're using to figure out that this is exactly what she had, this is a kind of hard thing to just put out there too. It is hard. It is hard. Let me see. Hold on. I feel for Gypsy. She knows she's only the flavor of the month. She is grabbing at every last straw to remain somewhat relevant. This is what Shelley said. Mm. Thank you, Dee Dee. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is a very complicated disorder. The experts don't diagnose Dee Dee. Just talk of possible symptoms. Exactly. Thank you, 877 Swiss. Like, this is exactly what I'm saying. They've never diagnosed her. So for people to just put that out there is very irresponsible. But it's something that's, maybe it's in court records. I'm not really sure. So where do they come up with this? That's like when Letitia Stout, they were saying when she had her court, what was it, in the summer last year, when she was having her court hearings and everything, they were giving her all kinds of diagnoses as well, right? And some of the stuff was like, well, she wasn't presenting this before. Like, what had happened? You don't get to diagnose her after she's committed that crime. Like, you have to understand, look at the data. You got to look at the data. Okay, let's keep reading. So, experts agree that Gypsy was the victim of a condition called MBP. These unnecessary procedures included, but were not limited to, the removal of salivary glands, the placement of a feeding port in her stomach, and painful diagnostic procedures. Gypsy was also forced for years to take medication for seizures and narcotics for illnesses and disorders she did not have. All of this was forced upon Gypsy by her mother, Dee Dee. Due to the extent of the abuse Gypsy suffered and the circumstances surrounding the murder, Gypsy was offered and pled to a reduced charge of murder in the second degree and a sentence of 10 years in the Missouri Department of State Corrections. On July 2016, Gypsy was assigned by the Missouri Department of Corrections to the correctional facility in Livingston County, Missouri, where she remained until her release on December 28th of 2023. The contract. Now, this is where it gets to this contract. This is where when Fancy Macelli first came talking about this, and this was prior to Gypsy's release, I didn't know that there was a contract. So this was a bit of a shock for me. And I don't know if it was a bit of a shock for everybody. Now, because Fancy has always reported that she never worked, like she was never paid by the family, she was never paid by anybody, she was never, and that could very well have been the case. Maybe she was never paid by anybody. Maybe that's the case. But that doesn't necessarily mean that there was no contract, okay? There could have been a contract. There could have been verbal contracts. Some states uphold verbal contracts. Some states like written contracts. Like, it just depends on what state you stand. If you shake somebody's hand, that could be considered a contract. If it's something written in a napkin, that could be considered contract. I took a contracts legal course a couple years ago, and I was amazed to know how often a lot of us sign up to contracts and we're not even aware of it. And I don't mean like sign here on the dotted line. Sometimes we do verbal contracts and we're not necessarily aware of it, and we find ourselves in situations where we didn't know we could find ourselves. So keep that in mind, right? So I was not aware that there was a contract between Gypsy and Fancy Macelli and company. Didn't know. Mm-mm. Okay, it's interesting. So The contract. Shortly after Gypsy's arrival at the correctional facility, plaintiff Gypsy, her father Rod Blanchard, and stepmother Christy Blanchard were contacted by a woman calling herself Francesca Macelli. Francesca Macelli's real name is April Johns. So is that a I think it's like a is Fancy Macelli like an entertainment name? And this is number 16. So they also I think they might have added her to the let me see. Yeah, well, they put April Johns and Francesca Macelli and Fancy Macelli in there. So they added both names there. So yeah, there's that. It was very painful when I took that course. But I learned a lot. I'll give you that. And that's something that I was like, you just got to be careful with contracts. That's all. You never know when you're making them. So be very mindful of it. Defendant Johns/Macelli approached the plaintiff, Gypsy, Rod, and Christie, about hiring her production company, Mad Ginger Entertainment, to produce media projects on Gypsy's behalf. Huh. Defendant John Macelli purported to be an up-and-coming producer with her own production company, Mad Ginger Entertainment. She purported to have experience in the entertainment industry and that she had the resources and expertise to bring media projects to fruition that would be financially beneficial to plaintiff Gypsy, Rod, and Christie. She presented them with a document entitled Life Rights Option Agreement. Exhibit A and Exhibit B, which, by the way, which is awesome. You can find these exhibits on the Missouri website when you're looking this case up. So it's all there. Nobody has to pay anything. You don't have to pay anything to look for this lawsuit, by the way. And it basically said wherein she would obtain a 1-year option renewable for additional years for the life rights to Gypsy's story and set out parameters for payment of net profits upon the production of said media projects. At the time Johns/Macelli approached them, Gypsy was in prison in Missouri, possessed little formal education, and had not obtained her GED. Also, her father and stepmother lived in blank more than 870 miles away from Gypsy. Okay. The overwhelming majority of the contract prior to the signing of the contracts by parties was via phone calls. And I'm sure some of those probably weren't even recorded. Oh my God. Based on the representation of John and Macelli, plaintiff agreed to sign the agreements with defendant. The life rights option agreement was signed by Gypsy on December 1st, 2017 at the Correctional Center in Livingston County, Missouri. All communication by Gypsy with John/Macelli originated from the Correctional Facility Center. Okay. A separate but similar life rights option agreement was signed by Rod and Christie prior to Gypsy's agreement on September 17, 2017. In furtherance of the signed agreement, Gypsy, Rod, and Christie provided John/Macelli and her team with access and copies of evidence and documents surrounding Gypsy's life and case. This included, but was not limited to, criminal case discovery, including crime scene photos, videos, court transcripts, family photos, videos, Gypsy's private protected medical records. Oh, shit. So this is why this woman has all this information. Okay. Why would she need crime scene photos? I'm not really sure. Maybe this was part of her, documentary and everything. That's interesting. But this is not something, I don't remember Fancy telling folks on YouTube that she had signed an agreement or had them sign any type of agreement. That would be helpful to know. Like because that would make sense as to why you had so much information about the Blanchards. That would make sense for but that wasn't when I started following this a little bit more back then, and I kind of backed away because I saw it just seemed very the way it was being reported, I wasn't a fan of it. So and it was very polarizing between folks. Like, it's either you supported Gypsy or you didn't support Gypsy, and you couldn't be in between that. And it just, to me, Gypsy tends to tell on herself. And so there's a lot of she'll say one thing in one interview and then something else different, and there's a lot of dishonesty that is in between what Gypsy says. But that's just my thought on that. That's interesting. Let's keep reading. So for the next 2 years plus, plaintiff Gypsy Rod Christie diligently worked with defendant John Macelli. They had countless conversations and interviews with her regarding their lives and their circumstances of the murder. During this time, Johns and Macelli purported to be skilled, experienced enough to perform her side of the contract. Ooh. So in a May 2019 article in the In Touch Weekly, defendant Johns and Macelli lauds how open and honest plaintiff have been with her. Johnson Macelli even acknowledged Gypsy had been raised by her mother to be deceptive and that she had helped Gypsy break that habit. Wait, what? So this is a quote from the article. Though it took Gypsy a while to open up, she's become more comfortable with Fancy over time. Based on the first time I started talking to her, I feel a difference in her honesty and willingness to be honest. When I first started talking to her, I know she wasn't being intentionally deceptive, but I think she was still worried about saying something wrong or saying something that would upset or hurt another person. She just kind of went along with certain things. Fancy had to help her break that habit. We had a conversation about it very early on. I said to her, if I was going to do this, you want me to trust you and you want me to tell the truth as you see it, then you can't lie to me. You can tell me I don't want to tell you. That's fine. You can say, I don't want to answer that. But do not tell me something that isn't true. After that, Gypsy was an open book. Whatever I asked, she answered. So this is a direct quote from the article. And so was Fancy saying in this article, somehow through her conversation with her, she got her to open up. That's interesting. Okay. So later in 2019, due to her non-performance by John and Macelli and her failure to secure any media projects or produce any marketable content, as well as John and Macelli becoming confrontational over Gypsy's relationship with her fiance, Ken, plaintiffs severed ties with John and Macelli. So in 2019, sounds like they cut her off at some point. Number 27, over the next 3.5 years, John and Macelli continued to create content about Gypsy. Number 28, these came in form of posts, comments, videos, podcasts, interviews, etc., numerous social media and streaming platforms. The first post on Facebook page, Good Wife's Guide to True Crime, began July 5th of 2019. Over the next 2 months, there were 3 posts related to Gypsy. One was titled Psych Expert About the Effects of Long-Term Abuse on Gypsy, September 24th, 2019. On November 1st, 2019, following the termination of plaintiff and defendant's relationship, Fancy wrote a blog post criticizing Gypsy for some recent choices. This comment was in reference to Gypsy having a relationship with a man named Ken while she was incarcerated. Fancy also made comments that Rod and Christie were horrible parents for allowing this. Well, I mean, she's an adult, so what the fuck were they supposed to do? Like, what is Rod? First of all, they don't even have a great relationship. Like, I cannot. What were they supposed to do? They've been absent most of her life. Like, this is the other side of this argument as well. What were Rod and Christie supposed to do? They couldn't stop her from marrying Ryan Anderson. So what were they supposed to do? Kind of makes you wonder. You know, just a thought. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Criticism isn't grounds for a lawsuit. Canine peace of mind. You're right. Facts ain't defamation. Keep that in mind too, right? Just a thought. Okay. Dag says it makes you think. It does make you think. So here we go. So December 1st, 2019, Fancy posted a blog posts in Patreon, a subscription-based website. Dee and Gypsy's career cons with the script. The topic is about Gypsy helping her mother con the people of Sidell, Louisiana. Gypsy would have been preteen during this time. Number 32. So, okay. All right, let me hold that thought for a minute before I even go into this. Subsequent to the termination of their contractual relationship, defendant Fancy created and continued to create through multiple platforms and screen names true crime content. These include, but are not limited to, that's all spaced out. The defendant utilizes the internet and social media platforms, including but not limited to TikTok, Instagram, Patreon, YouTube, Facebook, and Facebook Messenger. From late 2019 to present, John and Macelli produced content sporadically about Gypsy. She would also discuss her falling out with Gypsy and the Blanchard family. The subject of this content became more focused on a theme of Gypsy and the Blanchard family are hiding things. She began to state that she was the foremost expert on Gypsy and only she had the full story. Now, I'm going to stop right here. Okay, now this is where I do have to call out Fancy on this one because she did say, and I did hear her, and I heard her in multiple, Hidden True Crime was one of them. She did say she was the expert on this case. She said she was the expert on that. You can't, that's not a lie. She said that. And that's the kind of stuff that really kind of like made me feel some type of way, because if you're a true crime podcast, or like I'm a channel, right? I do true crime. I'm not an expert on everything case. Like there's no way. Just because you talk to or interview folks doesn't make you an expert on that. That's a fallacy. That's a fallacious way to think about things. You can't purport yourself to be that. You do have to be very much open to know that. Now, one can make the argument, like on the 31st or the number 31, where she said December 1st that there was a career con between child and mom, but Gypsy was of age to know. That would be the argument of, did Gypsy know right from wrong during the time that she was a child, a teen, a preteen? If she's living in a situation where where she said she had been abused. Now, mind you, she had seen multiple doctors around this time, and none of those doctors followed up or called CPS on like a referral about this potential abuse that's going on. Like there was a lot of failures in that side too. In my opinion, you have to kind of be mindful that you can't just say, well, she's a career criminal with her child. Are there children that have parents that commit crimes? Yes, but you like, how are you an expert on this case and yet you fail to see how child abuse can be applicable in situations like Dee and Gypsy? And I'm not for Gypsy whatsoever, but you cannot be an expert on a case that's mainly the focus on a woman that supposedly took her daughter through all these medical things. Okay. And then suddenly, you're like, I'm so confused by this. Just saying. You said she's a willing participant, but rabbit. Okay. But as a child, if I took my children, clicker AK, let me know. Just hear me out. I have a 16-year-old. If I told my 16-year-old we're going to rob a bank today, okay? Are they also a willing participant of my robbing the bank? So should they be charged as an adult? I'm just asking the question. Wouldn't that be my issue that as a parent, you subjected your child to child abuse because you're also, grooming them to be a participant? You are a banker? Good. All right. So if I go, and please don't clip this, okay? But if I go out there and I said, I'm going to go rob a bank, okay? And I'm going to take my 16-year-old. My 16-year-old is going to, first of all, I'm exposing my 16-year-old to rob a bank with me. I've groomed them to do it. They might know right from wrong, but hell, like they don't care because they're going to do what I tell them to do, right? Are they also a willing participant to this? When does it become that a child isn't fully developed in their brain, right? Like they're not there developmentally, that that they just went along with it and they felt some type of way about, this situation. Like I don't I see this side, I see this both ways, y'all. This is another way to put it. The murder is a completely different story. You said, but my child is at fault too. See, and at Clicker, this is where we can make the argument of like both, because then if that is the case, then my child depends on me and my example to lead them, right? I've led them this way. I led them to defraud. I led them to lie. I've led them to, not do an honest living. I led them to rob banks with me. And therefore, my child is at fault as well. Like I'm trying to understand this narrative, because at some point I don't think that that's the case. That's not how the judicial system sees it. But I hear what you're saying. Now, as an adult, Vanessa, that's a whole different deal. I definitely get that, but I'm going straight to what this sentence says right here. Gypsy would have been a preteen during this time. That's different. But as an adult, Vanessa, you're right on. You're right on. Because as an adult, if my 16-year-old is now 21 and we're robbing banks together and cheating and lying and conning the system, you right. They should be charged. Completely get it. Mm-hmm. I got you on that one. Okay. Shout out to everybody in the chat. You said Dee Dee is pretty good, manipulated Gypsy into believing that she had all these ailments. So what are we trying to say? That Gypsy knew this whole time that she was never sick because she went with the con? Kelly, I think that is what a lot of the argument has been said from Fancy's side. I could see both sides. Now, listen, I'm not agreeing with, or I'm just reading the lawsuit and I'm reading it out loud with y'all. And I love that we don't agree with a lot of stuff because it makes for a good conversation. But y'all, let me know what you think, okay? Like, and this is why I love this chat, because we're all adults and we can agree to disagree. Cool? Yes? Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Okay. All right, let's keep going, because this is gonna get this is getting interesting now. This is getting interesting, and I just took a drink of my coffee. Okay. Let's go. So here we go. Where did I leave off at? So in late 2019 to present. Okay, we read that part. She's saying that the subject of this content became more focused on a theme of Gypsy and the Blanchard family are hiding things. I do believe that they're hiding things, in my opinion. I do believe that the Blanchard family is not the most honest, and this is just my opinion. Y'all can't sue folks for their opinion. This is where I side-eye Gypsy and the Blanchard family. You cannot it is my opinion, and it's been the opinion of various other folks, that y'all are hiding shit. And I believe it. And I don't care that you guys talk to that other blogger over there and y'all are very close. And no. I don't care. I do believe that there's a lot of crime, and in my opinion, there's a lot of secrets that have been hidden here. Okay. She began to state that she was the expert on Gypsy, and and only she had the full story. For example, she posted on Blank's Facebook page, "Cancer, this boils my fucking blood. TBH. Call it obsession, fine. I'm obsessed with the fact a murderer and her lying con artist stepmother are conning the world one paycheck at a time. I'm disappointed in our society and feel the humanity is failing, and feel humanity is failing. Credit to CJ for the video." Woo-wee. But she did say that she was the expert on this case, and I think this is where she shot herself in the foot. She shouldn't have said that. If you guys got a membership from Wim, please put a heart in the chat. Thank you, Wim. Thank you, Wim. Thank you. You're awesome. Thank you. You running to Starbucks? You got to make it at home. Krista, make it at home. Don't be like, I'm trying my best to not spend my whole entire life at Starbucks, okay? Especially because they got those summer drinks. Just saying. October 10th, 2023. The content began to be more pointed and caustic. On that date, Fancy posted a video on the Blank Facebook page regarding the announcement that day of Gypsy's release date instead of announcing it sooner, and it was just a publicity stunt. Gypsy's release date was set in December 2021. Whoa. Fancy went on to state that she turned down media projects over the years because they involved working with the Blanchards, saying, I know anytime the Blanchards are involved, no truth will be told. Oh, shit. Okay. Number 35, that same day, she released a second video responding to a post by plaintiff Mia Blanchard. Mia, so I think it's Gypsy's stepsister, Gypsy's younger sister. In this video, Fancy acknowledged that she previously stated that her goal was to bury Gypsy. This statement was reaffirming a text message sent by Fancy to previously. Fancy stated that Mia's parents were exploiting Mia. She also stated that she was concerned for Mia's life, implying that Mia was in danger from Gypsy. Oh, shit. Okay. Well, okay. A month later, on November 6, 2023, Fancy posted an article in which Gypsy says her big goals was to meet Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. The title of this post was, And the Scam Just Continues. After the November 6, 2023 post on Facebook, nearly every post or created content on every platform by Fancy and her associates related to Gypsy or the Blanchard family. Some days were multiples per day. Many of these platforms are monetized for the account holder. So for those that are saying, hey, bossy, for those that are saying Gypsy's not, Fancy's not making money, look, we make money off of a video. Like, this video is monetized, okay? So it may not be like a video like this is not going to get me hundreds of dollars. This might get $25, $30, depending on the view, depending on the super chats, depending on the, stuff like that. And that's not counting cash apps or independent, donations like that. So keep that in mind. A video doesn't, what is it, like 10 or 12 cents a view or something like that per whatever, and it's like so many thousand views. You also kind of keep in mind like what is being pushed in the algorithm. If this is a saturated topic, that's very likely it's not going to get up there. These are things to kind of keep in mind, right? Just so everybody's aware. So when she says she's not making money off of this, might be not directly from the Blanchards, but if the topic is Gypsy Rose and you purport yourself to be the expert, or you say you're the expert and you have exclusive information that other folks don't have, yeah, you get to make money. You get to make money because that's just how it is. Pay attention to how much, like the other true crime cases that get reviewed, I mean, and she's, listen, at this point, and I saw that she did a reaction video to this lawsuit. She needs to not do a reaction video anymore. Like, get you a little lawyer. This is just my thought. Now, is she going to listen to anybody? No, because she doesn't seem like the type to really sit down and listen and understand that maybe she needs to get her foot out of her mouth just for a little bit. Like, sit down and get you a little lawyer and, let the lawyer speak for you at this point. It's not safe. It's not good, because it's not helping your case. To say that you're going to go and have a party, and a get together if you're flying down to the hearing, that's not a good thing either. You don't do that. You don't do that. That's it. Okay? She is calling publishers trying to sell her story. I'm not really sure. This is what they're alleging in the lawsuit. So would be kind of interesting to know what else they have to kind of show for a lot of this. Now, she did sell on Patreon. I believe she was selling Gypsy Rose's medical stuff. And I remember because I considered at one point like signing up to the Patreon to see what was it that she had. Because she keeps talking about it. She never really showed it. But I never did because I was like, I'm not really interested at this point. What is it going to tell me different about Gypsy? People have said, well, she lied. She has a chromosome disorder. Dee Dee was justified in taking her to her medical appointments. Okay. So let that be discussed in court at this point. That's just my thought. Okay, so many of the platforms are monetized for the account holder. Patreon, a platform where PNC has posted full copies of criminal case discovery, including gruesome crime scene photos, is a subscription based site requiring a purchase subscription to view content. That's true. Fancy's page in particular includes a subscription regarding, or excuse me, a subscription options ranging from $5 to $50 per month. Yeah, so why would she put the gruesome crime scene photos? That's like when, what the hell was her girl, the girl that did it here, Zav girl, when she posted Gannon Stout's autopsy photos. She posted them behind the paid wall. She did that. She did that shit. That was not good. As evidenced by defendant Macelli conduct and the conduct of her agents and associates, Macelli is intentionally and freely utilizing the material she received from plaintiffs pursuant to the agreement signed by plaintiff Gypsy and plaintiff Rod Christie respectively without their consent and for more pecuniary gain. As part of the conduct, Fancy posted online in both public and subscription-based platforms, documents, photos, videos she received from the plaintiff as part of the contractual relationship. These include, oh Lord, Fancy has posted online for public viewing Gypsy's private protected medical records. She had Colleen McShane, a professor of nursing at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee and a co-owner of the Good Wives Network, read and opine as to what is in Gypsy's private protected medical records. Wow. In a post in early 2024, Fancy stated that she was uploading Gypsy's medical records in her possession to the Patreon account. This is a website that allows people to subscribe monthly for a fee to obtain access to the content. Fancy also posted a police report, police videos, and police photographs, including the crime scene photos of Dee Dee's body. Wait, yeah, did not formally diagnosed. This is what the experts are saying. This is why the internet is in an uproar about that, because Dee Dee's being given this diagnosis, but she was never diagnosed with this, if that makes sense. I hope I don't. Why would you put that like autopsy photo? That's the same with the Gannon Stout. Y'all remember when everybody came after Zav girl for doing that? Yeah, she was never clinically diagnosed, Bossy. Thank you, Kelly, for. That's crazy. That's crazy. Like, don't do that. Don't be. I don't know. That right there, I don't agree with. And did y'all pay for those autopsy photos? See, and I thought about joining the Patreon, but I didn't know they had autopsy photos of Dee Dee Blanchard. I don't need to see all that. Y'all, we don't need to see that. Yeah, Brian Enton was on her ass for that shit, for Zav girl. Shout out to Brian Enton. I had never seen Brian Enton so mad before. Never. And then she, after what he said, I was like, oh my God, that's crazy. Okay. So shit. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I didn't know she put autopsy photos up there. I thought it was just medical records. But autopsy photos? I would never pay for that either, but like autopsy photos? Why would we need to see autopsy photos of Dee Dee Blanchard? Anyways, Fancy also posted police reports, police videos, police photographs, including crime scene photos of Dee Dee's body. Fancy has posted plaintiff's personal cell phones online on one of her paid forums. Oh my God. Prior and subsequent to Gypsy's release from the Department of Corrections on December 28, 2023, Fancy has posted dozens of videos, again, sometimes multiple per year, saying things such as, I'm so sick of Gypsy, like I honestly want to bury her so far down a rabbit hole. And I think if I dig enough, I could make her look so fucking bad. Gypsy makes herself look bad though. Like, I don't Fancy, you don't need to do all that. Gypsy does that all to herself. Like nobody likes Gypsy. Not that I know of. Like some folks can understand and sympathize with maybe some of the things that she went through, but nobody really likes Gypsy like that. Like she's not very favorable in the YouTube, you know, sphere, if that makes sense. Like nobody really likes her in the YouTube sphere. They don't. Okay. In January 27, 2024, in reference to Fancy's assertion, the Blanchards prevented her from giving an interview on Banfield. Oh yeah, I remember she was supposed to go on Banfield. I remember that. You should have let me do my interview and write my book and make my documentary. This is what she was quoted saying. In an updated clip from TikTok, defendant is screaming and cursing about the prosecutor sweeping this under the rug. She then screams, and Christy Blanchard sold you fucking Munchausen by proxy. And Mark Feldman, the expert on the case in Munchausen by proxy, never looked it up, and I have it in email. I'm calling it. It ain't fucking medical child abuse. I've been had. Fuck it, bitch. Sue me. Oh shit. She said, fuck it, bitch. Sue me. That's what she said. And I quote, listen. Because she said that apparently it got canned. Now, this is what I remember. I remember that and this is from what Fancy said. So I don't know what this looks like, but I do remember she was supposed to go on Banfield, and somehow the Blanchards got a hold of Ashley Banfield or one of the Banfields, and they were able to derail that situation. They had already done the interview or were set to do an interview at her house, and then at the like 11th hour, it was like it stopped. It didn't go through. Hey, Grape Tea. This is crazy, y'all. This is crazy. But I wouldn't have said, fuck it, bitch, sue me, because when they're suing you now, love, they're suing you now. Number 42. In these videos, she makes repeated accusations that plaintiffs are stalking her and encouraging people to stalk and harass her. She has stated that she's in fear that someone will take her out. She presents no evidence to back up the assertions that she is either being stalked or that the plaintiffs are encouraging such behaviors. Where I think that some of this is coming about is, in my opinion, from what I have seen, Christy Blanchard or the Blanchards do talk to some bloggers here. And so then we get a wave of trolls. Like, if you don't side this side, I'm going to troll you. When I first started talking about Gypsy Rose, I had to block a lot of trolls. Like, a lot of trolls. I just block them. I don't even engage anymore because I think it takes longer to create an account than it is to just kind of go back and forth with somebody. Just block them. That's all you got to do. February 3rd, 2024, a letter was sent to the home of Fancy by Stanfield Law LLC addressing these issues and requesting Fancy immediately stop creating content and saying false, defamatory, and harassing things regarding plaintiff. Take down the offending material and contact undersigned counsel. The person at Fancy's residence at the time of the delivery was not able to sign for the letter, and the U.S. Postal Service left information for a package pickup. Fancy acknowledged on subsequent videos that she was aware that the package was likely a cease and desist letter from undersigned counsel on behalf of plaintiff. She was not going to pick it up. Well, why wouldn't you? But if you know that it was there, see, it doesn't look like if you say it in a video that you're not picking up a cease and desist. If you know that it's there, anyways. And I think, in my opinion, it seems like Fancy doesn't want to. She feels like she's got something that she wants to continue to expose. Maybe that's why she hasn't, she has continued to drag this. The way I see it, Fancy, is that if you got some, just expose it already. Like, put it out there if there's more, but don't do it in a way in which you're leading the audience to believe that there's more to this. The best way as a blogger to put out information is this. You put it out, you give your opinion. In my opinion, I don't have all of this that would support my opinion, but based on what I do have, this is my opinion. And then you move on from it. And then you allow the audience to make their conclusions. You don't drag this on, because it's been since, like, I don't know how many years at this point that it's been said that there is going to be this, documentary, The Life and Crimes of Gypsy Rose, American Sweetheart's Murderer. Like, I'm like, this is like so much. This is too much. Say it so you don't get sued, and you can't be sued if it's, like if you didn't defame anybody, you didn't defame anybody. Exactly, Rhonda. That's why, like, you have to be able to, like, when content creators get fixated on a certain thing, and this happens to everybody, like, you could see it in the true crime. Everybody's fixated on the Sebastian Roger case right now. Am I lying or am I lying? You got content creators that would regurgitate, give theories. Summer Wells was the same thing. If you see a content creator that's got more than, I don't know, 10 videos on a certain case, no, let me even 25 videos on a certain case, spewing theory after theory, then you got a problem. You got somebody that's just spewing theory after theory. And that is very problematic, not only for the subject, but for the content creator as well. You make yourself liable for lawsuits. You do. You got to be careful. You have to be able to know exactly, when to look and when to stop, and how to put out information so that it doesn't, so that you allow the audience to make up their mind. That's it. I hope so, Vanessa. I really do. Like I said, I don't have an issue with the lady. I don't agree with everything that she's done. I don't agree with this lawsuit. Let me be very clear. I think this lawsuit is not okay. I don't think that Gypsy's being defamed per se, because she's infamous already based on what's been put out there in the crime and what she's been charged with. You can't rewrite history. You can't say, I don't identify as a murderer, even though I played a role into something. Like, you can't. But she needs to cool it a little bit. She really does. No shade. Thank you. And Chico knows. Every false theory is out there. Every false theory. So you do have to be careful, because you make yourself liable for shit, if you don't calm down. Okay. So she says she never attempted a contact with the undersigned counsel and continued to produce offending content. In fact, defendant's knowledge of this letter from plaintiff's counsel appears to have only increased defendant's conduct in quantity and in acrimony towards plaintiff. Fancy has made comments that she has contact with Gypsy's parole officers demanding changes to her parole conditions. Oh, shit. Lord, see? Listen, that's too much. A live video posted onto YouTube on February 6, 2024, titled Gypsy Rose Exposed: The Truth Behind the Lies. Fancy's final thoughts. And they haven't been final, girl, because you've been talking. See, you shouldn't have done a reaction video this last time. I would put some of these on private until you see an attorney to give you some good counsel. That's it. Fancy made the following statements. I'm absolutely the leading expert. Let me do my hand like this. Hey, AMK. I'm absolutely the leading expert. This is what she said. Leading expert. That's what she said. I'm absolutely the leading expert on the Gypsy Rose Blanchard case. Referring to Gypsy, she's a dangerous freaking person and shouldn't be in anyone's home ever. She's a deviant. Talking about go to John and would be able to burn her. Gypsy's ass down. I'm going to try to bury her just a little bit for him tonight. Fancy said if she looked hard enough at the evidence, I would bury that bitch. I'm going to do that tonight. That's not cute. No. And then she said, fuck you, bitch, Gypsy. I'm going to bring you down tonight. Counsel has spoken with and is prepared to present testimony from witnesses who have worked closely with defendant Macelli and recently stopped working with her. They stated they have repeatedly warned defendant that her conduct is unprofessional, illegal, and defamatory. She has failed to heed this advice and engage in similar abusive conduct towards them. Defendant Macelli has shown no indication that she intends to either curb or cease this behavior. In a February 28, 2024 video posted online, she stated that she has a source close to the Blanchard family, and Christy's son no longer speaks with her because he found out Christy tried to steal pills from the house, the murder scene, before she called Mike Stanfield over. She said she doesn't know if this is true, but the source is reliable and she believes it because she knows Christy is a pill popper. Girl, don't do this shit. What are you doing? Mind my blues. Did you procrastinate on that like button? Please tell me. Did y'all procrastinate on that like button? Don't do that. Oh my God. Defendant has continued to attempt by various platforms to take. I'm sorry, I can't even concentrate anymore because this is like too messy. An example of a TikTok was suspended with her account on more than one occasion. At the time of this writing, that account remains suspended. So she got her account suspended. Defendant has created new accounts to post, such as a blank. She has made social media posts stating she will continue to create new ones when they are suspended. Defendant Macelli was convicted of a misdemeanor offense of welfare fraud in the Superior Court of California. Why would they put her why is that necessary? Why is that necessary here? So, plaintiff alleges a defendant by and through above referenced conduct has engaged in the following actions: fraud, breach of contract, unjust enrichment, defamation, false light. Well, I mean, they're going to have to pull all that monies together to determine how much she has actually enriched herself from all of this. I don't think it's illegal, but I think it's definitely a nail in a coffin. Like, you got to be careful doing that. It's not illegal, though. It is kind of funny, though, Vanessa. I'm just going to say that. It's a bit cringy and a little like, I don't know. I don't know, girl. I don't know. You tell me, Vanessa. You tell me. What do you think? But it's not illegal. I don't think it's illegal. No. I'm the leading expert on my YouTube channel. That's not illegal for me to say. I am the leading expert of this channel here. And I'm not going to sue myself because I will bankrupt myself. That's what I will do. Okay? That's what I will do. Defendant retained documents, videos, photos, audio related to plaintiff that she received in connection with her contractual relationship with Gypsy as a producer, including but not limited to. So she got a lot of documents, police reports, surveillance, court transcripts, medical records, of Gypsy Rose Blanchard. After failing to fulfill any of the objectives of the contractual agreement and being dismissed by plaintiff, defendant has used these materials, especially Gypsy's private protective medical documents, to produce public content, making false and defamatory statements about each of the plaintiff, accusing the plaintiff of criminal behavior for which she has no reasonable basis, in fact, to assert, and for defendant's own personal financial gain. Now, there's no HIPAA violation here. She's not a medical doctor, so there is no HIPAA violation. It would make it. I am the leading expert of my channel. What you talking about? You said I wouldn't do it. I am the leading expert of my channel. It would make me side eye. Not gonna lie. It did kind of make me feel some type of way when I heard her say that because it was not cute. Defendant herself and by through her agents used her previous contractual relationship with plaintiff to post it herself as the foremost expert on the Gypsy case. She then used the fact that she had an inside access. So having inside access doesn't make you an expert. Can we just be very clear on that? Having interviews, having documents doesn't make you an expert. Y'all know that, right? She could be a self-proclaimed expert, but that doesn't make you an expert. Talking about a case for many years, obsessing over a case for many years, reviewing documentation for many years does not make you an expert of that. It doesn't. Not a subject matter expert. So she needs to be careful how she uses that. But folks here on YouTube, have fallen for that shit. They have. They'll be like, oh, she really knows. She knows her shit because she had insider information because she had a contract. That's what she had. Okay, and we didn't know. At least I didn't know she had a contract. This is how she was able to retain some information. That says a lot from about somebody who's not willing to disclose the fact that she had a contract. Like, I don't know if people are missing the point of here. It says a lot when a person doesn't disclose that they had a contract with another person. It says a lot. So, I mean, in my opinion, in terms of like, this is why you got the information, because they expected you to deliver something. Now, if they cut you off or they were unfair to you, or if you decided to walk away because you realize that these people were, really, really grimy people, which I believe it. I believe it. I'm just going to say that. I believe both sides of it. Do I think this lawsuit is stupid? I do think so. I think it's a stupid lawsuit, but that's just my opinion, though. I don't know. She says here to create the illusion that she possessed information that no one else possessed, which is untrue. Since November of 2019, and to the greatest extent since October 2023, defendant and her agents have used their platforms to harass, abuse, defame plaintiff, including but not limited to posting her cell phone numbers, protected medical information. Defendant has resisted all attempts by plaintiff to resolve this issue. So they're also asking for a temporary restraining order, which is interesting as well. Plaintiff reinstates, realleges, and incorporates herein by reference each and every allegation contained in the preceding paragraphs. Okay. Defendant Macelli caused and continues to cause immediate irreparable harm to defendant. They're going to have to prove that because, in my opinion, she's already been defamed. Like, there's nothing like, you can't defame somebody like Gypsy Rose. That's just my thought. Agreements between plaintiff and defendant. Defendant Macelli was provided with sensitive and private and protected information, photos, and videos and whatever as evidence by Macelli conduct and conduct of her agents and associates. Ooh, who are her agents and associates? Y'all got to be careful because they're going to be adding everybody to this lawsuit. Just be careful. Macelli misrepresented her abilities and expertise related to her ownership of the Mad Ginger Entertainment, unbeknownst to plaintiff who have no experience in the entertainment industry. That also could be arguable, but okay, you can argue against that too because they've had a lot more coverage in media than a lot of other folks, in my opinion. So she's provided defendant with years of exclusive access to Gypsy's family rights, yada yada yada, at the time of termination of business relationship. I'm surprised they haven't provided a post or a like, do not contact us anymore. This is the end of termination. When did they end the termination of their business relationship? Following the termination of their contractual relationship, Fancy proceeded to create public perception that because she had insider access to the people and personal access to private documents, that she alone possessed the only full understanding of the Gypsy case. Okay. In creating this perception, she made false statements regarding people and situations to create public perception and plaintiff as attempting to silence her because she alone knows what they're doing. Defendant, knowing these statements are false, is uttering the defamatory statements to punish the plaintiff for termination of their contractual relationship with her and to create buzz for her content, drive users and subscribers, thereby increasing monetization. Defendant has repeatedly warned by agents and associates who have worked closely with her that her conduct is defamatory and illegal. Several former agents and associates have severed all ties with Fancy to avoid future liability. I have a feeling that a lot more people are I'm just gonna say that because y'all, like, when you're treating a lawsuit like it's a party and you're gonna go over there and party it up, like, that's not cute. That's not good whatsoever. In the video posted February 28, 2024, the co-host attempted to temper an allegation put forth by Fancy by saying, I wouldn't go farther than that. But she immediately doubles down and reaffirms what she has said was from a reliable source, and she believes it because she knows Christy is a pill popper. How does she know that Christy is a pill popper? Like, okay. That's not a good look. That's not good to say. Unless you know somebody's a pill popper, I wouldn't be putting that out there. Plaintiffs are requesting this court to enter a temporary restraining order enjoining defendant Fancy and her officers, agents, servants, and employees. Okay. So I'm gonna keep going. I mean, this is what they're asking her to do. And then request for preliminary and permanent injunction. And Fancy, I guess, was claiming that she was never served. Oh, and then they're also getting her that fraud part. We read that part. Let's see, breach of contract. We know about this part. This is just going over the counts. And like I said, I'm going to link the full lawsuit in the description box so you guys can review it yourselves if you want to. In conclusion, this is what they're asking for. Yada, 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 yada. Okay. So what it sounds like to me is that she's not willing to get served. The receipts are actually on the website, by the way. My Mind Blues. Like I said, I'm going to link all of this in the description box. I'm going to show you guys where you guys can find it. You guys can see her attachments because there are some receipts in her attachments where she, especially, there was one specific, hold up, let me stop sharing. There was one receipt that was very interesting where, oh, did I close? I closed it out. Damn it. I am not. Oh, here it is. Here's one exhibit. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. Sharing. This is they added those and y'all can see those for free. Like I said, it's a public lawsuit. This is where she said that cancer statement. Okay. This is all. It's in the Missouri court and the exhibits are listed there. This is the case number 24 LV. Like y'all can look at it's all public. I'm not doxing anybody. Actually, the court did a really good job in redacting some of the stuff. Look at this. Last night, the leading crime expert, Colleen and Fancy, went live in an exclusive to expose on the lies behind the crimes and the murder of Dee Dee Blanchard. For the last 7, this is the shit that was like, oh my God, this is too much. For the last 7 years, we have tried to tell the cautionary tale about Gypsy and her family while they have shared their countless times. Times or lies? I think that's what they meant to say. They have reported themselves to be the leading crime experts. Okay? Y'all saw that? Look, there's more. There's so much more to this. Hold up. Oh, here you go. This is where you can find the website is there. There's Missouri courts. Y'all can find all the exhibits are attached there. Y'all can look at them up. All of them are attached there. Okay? So feel free to check it out. It's public information and you don't even have to log into Pacer. Check it out. All right, guys. Y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments. I've been here talking to you guys. Listen, I'm not the leading expert of anything but what's on this channel or what I'm talking about. And if I'm not the leading expert, I'll tell you I'm not the leading expert of that because I'm not going to shoot myself in the foot. My biggest thing is that I do think that this lawsuit is stupid because you can't defame somebody like Gypsy Rose, in my opinion. However, I do think that Fancy got a little bit carried away, and I did not know, and she did not inform the YouTube streets that there was an actual contract. Had we known that, I think we would have looked at this a little bit different. Not to say that the information would have been different or anything like that. You just have to kind of be mindful like of what you're putting out there. I do think that she should step away a little bit and not talk anymore and be careful. That's it. That's all. Because when you do stuff like this, you're going to have people after you. People do. And I mean, Gypsy Rose is somebody that she don't give a shit. She's just, I'm sorry, y'all. Like, look at her rap sheet. Like, look at her behavior. Look how she changes her story from then and now. Like, be careful with that. I will see you guys on the next one. Make sure you're hitting the like button. Rabbits out. Bye, guys. And thank you for supporting my channel. Bye, guys.